So far, it's been a fantastic year for gamers. But there are still some exciting releases on the horizon. If your most anticipated title is a long way off, why not enjoy some of these amazing single-player games in the meantime? In this video, we'll take a look at some of the best single-player games you can play right now. If you want to forget about the pressure of carrying the team and just want a quiet space to relax, these single-player games can be exactly what you need. Anyway, we've got a lot of fun and exciting games to talk about here. So let's get started off with number 10. We have Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy. Over the last several years, there have been many Marvel and DC Comics titles. Some of them have been amazing and some of them haven't. And this game is Square Enix's take on the popular superhero movie Guardians of the Galaxy. Thankfully, it was one of the better games on the roster. In the game, you'll play as Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord, and with the rest of the Guardians at your back. And the gameplay is so fun that you can tag team fights with other Guardians via combo moves, make key choices in the story, listen to a lot of great music, and more. People love this game because of its gorgeous graphics, balanced gameplay, and the sense of humor that made the movies famous. This is the game that Marvel's Avengers should have tried to be. Focused, fun, and an exploration of the Marvel Universe as a whole. Next, over at number 9, we have Kena Bridge of Spirits. If you're looking for a charming yet deep adventure experience, then this game might be the one to get. You'll play as a young girl called Kena, a spirit guide who ventures out to help those that pass move on to the spirit world. It is just a really fun adventure with pretty big open areas, fun dungeons to explore, puzzles to solve, and pretty simple story to uncover. There is combat here as Kena uses a staff to fight off enemies, while the staff itself can turn into a makeshift bow to sink some arrows into an enemy. The world is also pretty gorgeous. It's often compared towards a Pixar animated film. But there is one shortcoming fans might find with this game. That's the fact this is a relatively short game. It takes players under 10 hours to complete, so if you're after something to quickly get through, then this is a game we would recommend giving a try. Moving on to number 8, we have Stray. Stray is a game that has been taking the world by storm ever since its release, mainly because it is so different from anything we've seen before. You play as a regular, ordinary cat lost in a kind of dystopian future inhabited only by robots. Now you must figure out what's going on and reunite with your cat buddies. The gameplay is kind of fun. Like, you can pick things up, solve all kinds of different puzzles, complete various tasks, and there's even a dedicated button for meowing. And while it is a very simple game to play, there's not too much to it. It's just fun to mess around and play as a cat in this strange world. If this wasn't on your radar for it just being the game where you play as a cat, you should still consider it for the cool sci-fi aesthetics and just a good, solid adventure. And number 7 is Evil West. They say the West was built on legends, but not all of those legends come from our own version of the Earth. In Evil West, for example, their legends tell of how the West was overrun by vampires, and the only one left to stop them was the last surviving member of a place that trained cowboys to be vampire hunters. This game lets you enjoy some fun, fast, and visceral combat using a mixture of guns and gauntlet attacks, as you try and wipe out the menace of the vampires from the West. And the storyline is pretty interesting with sci-fi and horror elements. You can also travel across the country, upgrade your technology to fight, and team up with a friend in co-op to help you wipe out the vampiric horde together. This game just looks like one of those fun games that you can play to have an absolute blast. Next, at number 6, we have Far Cry 5. Far Cry 5 is a game that actually is pretty damn good. The 5th main title within the franchise, this game takes place within the United States of America in a fictional Montana place known as Hope Country. Similar to its franchise predecessors, as the story revolves around taking down a cult leader called Joseph Seed. In my opinion, this game is the best in the franchise, with a beautiful open world with all the classic elements like liberating settlements and towers, hunting and taming wild animals, and upgrading skills. And it also features customizable protagonists. Lots of vehicles you can drive like planes, boats, trucks, tons of weapons to use in combat, fishing, and many more. The music in this game is also beautiful and fits the world and the story perfectly. So if you're looking for a fun exploration, repetitive grinding in an exciting world, I think that this game is totally worth checking out. Down at number 5, we have Nier Automata. This game is easily one of the more unique RPG experiences of the last decade. And it puts you in a world where robots have taken over and humanity has been driven out. You play as a set of androids, and it's your job to stop these robots and take things back for the humans. This game just celebrated its 5th anniversary, meaning that the character of 2B is technically 5 years old. This character stood out in the game because of her looks and awesome abilities. The game is developed by Platinum Games. When it comes to Platinum Games, you know exactly what you're getting. With Nier Automata, you're getting a mix of the over-the-top action that Platinum is known for, all the while giving you a story that is, let's just say, complicated. There are multiple endings, more depth in the story than you might expect. And when you combine that with an incredible, fast-paced, action-packed gameplay, you'll see why so many have tried this game out. Next, over at number 4, we have High on Life. You might know about this game for various reasons, but we'll stick to the gameplay and story reasons for this entry. In the game, you'll play as a kid who is doing pretty much nothing until an alien invasion comes around and decides that they need humans to literally get high. Anyway, you get a special bounty hunter suit and talking weapons and must travel the galaxy to take out the heads of these alien groups trying to wipe out humanity. This is also a game that comes from Justin Roiland, who is known for the TV animated series Rick and Morty. It's an incredibly weird game and a vulgar one, so keep that in mind before you play. Moving on to number 3, we have a Plague Tale series. The predecessor of the recently released Plague Tale Requiem was an absolute dream of a game, and it walked so the sequel could run. Plague Tale series tells the story of Amisha and Hugo. The game is set in 14th century France, and everything is taken over by the Black Death. Players will go on a journey that incorporates stealth, survival, puzzle solving, and a little bit of combat. This game also looks fantastic, and with its eerie and mysterious atmosphere, there is not another game on the market that expresses 14th century France quite as this does. There is no wonder that it was up for so many Game of the Year awards in 2019, and the sequel is even better. And this adventure, this story, this bond between brother and sister, they are really worth experiencing. Next, over at number 2, we have Control. Remedy Entertainment is well known for the Alan Wake and Max Payne series, but their most recent title, Control, didn't disappoint, and it was one of the more surprise hits of the last few years. Control features an interesting main story that can often play with your mind, requiring you to analyze everything around you. This game blends freedom of movement, awesome powers, and gunplay rather well. The star of the show is your supernatural abilities. You can levitate, fling objects across rooms, and control enemies, all while shooting your shape-shifting pistol that can change into multiple forms such as a machine gun, shotgun, sniper, or charging around. It's just so fun and satisfying. The world building in this game is gorgeous with incredibly tight map design and lots of cool details. The game makes several references to the Alan Wake series, meaning fans of the franchise are sure to enjoy Control. Finally, at number 1, we have Metro Exodus. Metro Exodus was a big game when it was released, and it is the 3rd installment in the Metro series that takes its story from the novels of the same name. In the universe of Metro, the world has been devastated by nuclear war. The world is a hostile one filled with mutated creatures, both natural and supernatural. It's not a completely open world. Think more of Mass Effect hub areas as your train takes you on to the next plot area. And there are some cool weapons that can be customized and upgraded using scavenging materials you find. There is also a dynamic day and night system that changes over the 4 seasons and takes place over the course of one whole in-game year as you progress. It's honestly one of the best-looking post-apocalyptic games ever. And you don't have to have played the first 2, as Exodus recaps them both and tells its own contained story. So if you're a fan of games with survival horror and stealth elements, you'll have a good time trying to survive this one. Before you go, Here are some few bonus games that totally worth checking out. First, we have Biomutant, where you play as a fuzzy little creature. You can fight with creatures, use abilities, drive vehicles, and explore a post-apocalyptic world while uncovering a cool story. Next, we have Sifu. It's a fighting game with cool martial art moves where you play as a student of a master who was killed in front of you. And now you must use your martial arts powers to defeat them. And next, we have Firewatch. It's a beautiful game about a fire lookout named Henry doing his job and making sure rowdy kids aren't causing trouble. To give away any more to Firewatch wouldn't be fair, so our advice is to go and check it out. Next, we have The Pathless, where you play as a skilled archer with an eagle buddy fighting off against giant corrupted spirit. This game features fluid movement, archery-based puzzles, and beautiful graphics. Last, we have Little Nightmares. It's a puzzle platformer horror game where you play as a 9-year-old girl. This game is charming, terrifying, and mystifying all at the same time. So if you're running short on what to play, don't forget to check out these titles as well. The best single-player games to play alone are the ones that make you feel the happiest. Whether this means being excited and on edge or calm and relaxed. It's a very personal choice that doesn't have any wrong answers. Of course, there are so many other games, though, that we couldn't squeeze on this list. So I'd love to hear your choices down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next video.